Hello and welcome back to the Untitled podcast. My name is Brian Thomas, and I look a little different from the last time I recorded one of these. Yeah, I know I shaved, so that's probably throwing you guys off a little bit. But yeah, it's been a while. I hope you guys have been doing well. For the people that have been listening in onto the podcast, I do plan on posting these a little more consistently, so hopefully I bring these episodes out a little faster than usual. We have a little bit of a shorter show today. Obviously in the thumbnail you see that we're going to talk about Odell Beckham and where I personally think he is going to land, because it does seem like he is going to be cleared by next week and teams are going to be interested in signing him. Yeah, I guess we could just get into that conversation. Odell Beckham, obviously he tore his ACL. He's rehabbing, whatever, and it looks like he's ready to come back. If not next week, and then or in 2 weeks, he should be back. And he's definitely the top free agent on the market right now. Definitely after a trade deadline where a lot of teams can't trade for players anymore. I think there are a couple teams that definitely stand out in front of the others. The Rams are a very big contender to get him. The Packers, I believe, should get him. Do I think they'll do it? No, because their front office is garbage. The Cowboys have been linked with him recently. The Giants have talked about having a reunion with Odell Beckham. All very, very interesting conversations to have. I personally think he'll end up going back to the Rams. He talked about how much he liked being with the Rams. He obviously won a Super Bowl with the Rams. There has been some bad blood with the Rams not really paying him the contract that he wanted originally. I'm pretty sure they gave his number away. I don't remember who they gave it to, but if he were to go back to the Rams, he would not be number 3. So yeah, a little animosity there, but I think it's stuff they could work through. The Packers desperately need a wide receiver. Their number 1 receiver right now, I believe, is Romeo Doubs. I can't name you another receiver on that team. I think the other 2 receivers that are on the field at that point are probably Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb, if they're even still on the team or if someone's injured. I just remember those are the wide receivers for their starting roster at the beginning of the year. I don't even know if they're sticking with those guys, but Odell Beckham would help immensely on that offense. Aaron Rodgers needs weapons to throw to. He can't just be throwing to Aaron Jones or Robert Tonyan or Romeo Doubs, because none of those guys are really that good, to be quite honest with you, except for Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a pretty good running back, but a running back isn't supposed to be your top receiver. He's supposed to be your running back, not your receiver. So, yeah, but obviously the front office hates Aaron Rodgers there, and they just don't want to give him any help. They want him to be painted in the worst light as possible, it seems. The Cowboys, it'd be cool if he went there, I guess. It'd be nice to see him paired up with CeeDee Lamb. It'd be interesting, I would say, the least. Especially with Dak Prescott back. I think they could do some real damage. And the Giants, definitely interesting. I don't know if obviously they need a receiver, but that whole offense is ran through Saquon Barkley, so I don't really think it's like a top priority, but it would definitely help Daniel Jones out if he had someone other than Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson and all these other receivers who quite frankly aren't the best. But I don't know, Danny Dimes has been getting it done, so who knows. Definitely not a top priority for the Giants, I would say. It would be nice to get him back, though. It would be a cool reunion. But personally, I do believe he will go back to the Rams. That's definitely the safe choice. Definitely That would definitely help that Rams offense a lot. It would definitely help Matthew Stafford a lot, because it seems like the only person that he likes to throw to is Cooper Kupp, especially after they tried to replace Odell Beckham with Allen Robinson, and Allen Robinson has just been quiet the entire year. Not that, I mean, I don't know. It's not like I've watched any Rams games or anything, but I don't know if it's a Allen Robinson problem or if it's a Matthew Stafford problem. All I do know is that he was very successful last year having Odell and Cooper Kupp together, but I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess I'm coming to the conclusion that Matthew Stafford probably isn't the best quarterback in the league anymore. Not that he ever was, but he's definitely a shell of his former self. Definitely interesting to see that. Such a hard fall off, honestly. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, I feel like he has the weapons that he needs already. He has Tyler Higbee, he has Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson has been pretty good. Obviously, they went out and signed Allen Robinson. I mean, if they get Odell Beckham, whatever. I don't know where the Rams get all this money from, because they don't have any fans. Have you seen their pictures of other fans in their stadium? It's insane. Whenever they play the 49ers, that's the 49er stadium. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't understand how they get all this money. But whatever. I don't care. Okay, and what are we going to talk about next? Ooh, a little Mets talk. Yes. Let's go Mets. The New York Mets and Edwin Diaz have agreed to a contract of 5 years and $102 million. There is an opt-out and a full no-trade clause. And there's also a sixth-year player option if he chooses to pick it up. I love it. Edwin Diaz has been a bright spot for the New York Mets this year, obviously being the best closer in baseball this year. The fans love it whenever he comes out at home with those trumpets. It's definitely been one of the brighter spots in the Mets season this year, and it's definitely nice to have him there for 5 more years. My concern is that the year before this, he was not the best, so hopefully we're not paying him for a fluke season. That would really suck, but whatever. But I do think that this shows that Steve Cohen is definitely falling under what he did last season. He wants to be aggressive. I fully expect us to get to sign a top free agent other than Jacob deGrom, who is rumored to get around $140 million for 3 years, which wouldn't be the worst, wouldn't be the best. To be fair, I would like him back. If we don't, not the biggest deal in the world. He's a really old guy. The one person I am interested in getting is Carlos Rodon, because he just declined his player option, and I think he would fit great in our starting rotation. And if Jacob were to leave, I think Rodon would be our guy to get. What else? Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart. Yeah, I guess talking about Edwin Diaz, yeah, he's been really good. Here, let me just get his stats up really quickly. Edwin Diaz. On last year, he was 28, so we will have him up until about potentially when he's 34, 35 years old, or 33. I don't know if I'm doing that math right. And he had a 1.3 ERA with a .84 WHIP, getting 32 saves, 118 strikeouts, and he had 9 earned runs in 61 games. It's an amazing season, really, really amazing. But back to what I was saying, the year before that, he had a 3.45 ERA, the same amount of saves, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, 32 saves. He had a 1.05 WHIP. He had a 5-6 record. He had 89 strikeouts, and he had 24 earned runs in 63 games. So definitely interesting to see. And then the year before that was the COVID season, and then his first year with the Mets he was horrible. He had a 5.5 ERA for 26 saves, 2-7 record. He gave up 36 earned runs in 66 games. So it's definitely nice to see that he's gotten better, but I just hope he doesn't fall back into old Edwin Diaz habits, is all I'm trying to say. Not that I think it's going to happen, but definitely something to keep in mind. Here, what can we talk about next? Ooh, my fantasy lineup. This is funny. Here, let me just get this up really quick. So, I'm playing my buddy Michael in fantasy this week. If Michael's watching, a shout out to you. Here, let me just pull up my ESPN real quick. So before I say anything, let me just stress that this is a 4-man league, so this is why the rosters are so stacked. But I have Lamar Jackson, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, Dallas Goedert, Travis Etienne, the Bengals defense, and Evan McPherson. And then as of right now, I got 140 points to his 114 points. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about fantasy? You're doing good. What's the problem? Well, I would even say 2 days ago, last night, I actually picked up Aaron Jones on waivers, just because I figured, hey, that Green Bay offense is horrible. They're probably going to be running the ball a lot. They're probably going to be giving the ball to Aaron Jones a lot. But I think I failed to realize that he splits carries with A.J. Dillon, and Aaron Rodgers is also very competitive and will try to throw the ball anyway. But I had Joe Mixon on my bench, and Joe Mixon decided to score 55 fantasy points. Yeah, I had 55 fantasy points on my bench this week. He decided that here, let me just get his stat line real quick. He decided he would have 22 carries, the third most carries out of any game he had this year. He rushed for 153 yards. He had 4 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 58 yards, and he also had a receiving touchdown. So, yeah, kill me. But yeah, if I didn't pick up Aaron Jones, I probably would have started Joe Mixon there in his spot. So that sucks. Definitely something to bring up, and I feel like every week I always have somebody on my bench that does really, really well. I remember at the beginning of the season I had Jalen Waddle on my bench, and he had a 40-point game, along with Tyreek Hill, I believe. I just can't win in fantasy. I do have a 3-5 record. I'll probably be 4-5 after this week. It does look like I'm going to win this game, or this series, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about my L. Even though I'm winning, that's still an L. I should have him in my lineup. That's horrible. Okay, and then I guess let's talk about the Crown Jewel. The WWE pay-per-view Crown Jewel. Let me just get the recap up just to make sure I don't miss anything. Now, before I talk about anything in this pay-per-view, let me just say, before anything, I did not actually get the chance to watch the pay-per-view. I only got the chance to actually follow along on Twitter and watch some highlights, things like that. So I'm not going to be able to give a full-on analysis of these matches, but I still want to talk about it. So first up, I want to talk about, for the first match that pops up here, is Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Definitely an interesting match here. Bobby Lashley did end up losing in a pretty weird way. He had the Hurt Lock on. Brock fell back, and Bobby just kind of laid back and took the pin. It does look like Bobby is going to be turning heel, because even like before the match, he showed a little bit of heel tendencies. He attacked Brock before the match even started, and then he also attacked Brock after the match ended. And it also seemed like it was a little bit of a finisher fest. And I know some people don't like that, but I don't know. You don't see them very often. They're really meant for like WrestleMania, and I don't know. I feel like it's fine. It's whatever. It's not a 6-team tag match. I hate those. I've seen enough of them. But yeah, Brock Lesnar defeated Lashley. It looks like Lashley is going to be starting a heel run, and we're definitely not done with this rivalry. Next, we're going to talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship match between Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Damage Control. The attires are a lot better for Saudi Arabia, I will say. The attires for Alexa Bliss and Asuka looked pretty cool. But that aside, before I even get into the match, why did Damage Control lose the Women's Tag Team Championships to begin with? Definitely interesting, especially considering that Alexa and Asuka lost the titles today. They actually lost the titles, whatever. I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it was a pretty good match. Whatever. I don't really care. Weird. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. Definitely weird. Weird match. Drew McIntyre also came out with the W. Weird decision. But I guess that definitely just shows that the rivalry isn't over. Also, it looks like Scarlett had a lot to do in like interfering with the match or whatever, and I don't really know how I feel about that, especially if you're trying to book Karrion Kross as his real main event guy. I know like certain heels do that, and like certain heels hide behind their managers or they're cowards and they just try to get cheap wins, but I don't know, Karrion Kross is different. It seems like he wants to fight and he's this real big tough guy, whatever. But then Scarlett kind of comes behind him whenever he's what's the word? Whenever he's in trouble. I don't really know how I feel about that. It's whatever. Maybe it'll develop into something else. Whatever. The finish was a little weird too. Karrion Kross tried to climb through the door, but Drew McIntyre climbed over the cage and he fell before Karrion Kross can get out of the door. We're definitely going to see another match. I'm interested to see if their next match will be a regular singles match or if it will have another stipulation. And I also wonder what the stipulation will be. I think it should be something along the lines of maybe like an Extreme Rules match, a Last Man Standing match. You know, something really cool, something really like something that we haven't seen in a while. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't even know. Well, whatever, it's not my job anyway. The OC versus the Judgment Day. I don't really care. It's whatever. I don't really care about the Judgment Day. They're kind of whack. The Judgment Day beat the OC. Whatever. The Judgment Day needed the win to seem a little more legit, so I understand. But it sucks that the OC were put in that position because now the OC kind of looks kind of not important. Whatever. Edge should be coming back soon. Maybe there'll be like a 8-man tag situation, an 8-man or an 8 mixed tag team match at Survivor Series, and it will have Edge and the OC versus the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley. Oh, actually, maybe Judgment Day will add somebody to their group, and the Judgment Day will versus the OC with Edge and Beth Phoenix, and maybe that will be our 5-man or 10-man survival tag match. A little bit of a prediction there. Just came to that realization. If it does happen, I'm stamping it. That was my prediction. I called it. Braun Strowman versus Omos. 2 big men wrestling in Saudi Arabia. A little bit of a weird match from the videos that I saw. It looked like Braun Strowman was actually wrestling as the cruiserweight in this match. Definitely weird for a guy who's as big as he is, wrestling as a cruiserweight. Omos seemed very, very powerful. They did a very good job protecting both of these guys in this match. Omos did end up taking the pin. and Braun Strowman did end up defeating Omos. And I think Braun Strowman needed the win more than Omos. Braun Strowman just came back and re-signed with the WWE. It'd be kind of weird if he came back, lost, and kind of became like a jobber or whatever. That would kind of suck. Omos, you could build him and you could do so many things with him just because of how big he is, and obviously MVP is in his corner, so he doesn't even have to talk. MVP talks for him. There's just so many things you could do with him. I think he's going to be that guy that kind of just comes in for specialty matches. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the Survivor Series or in the Survivor Series, Survivor Tag match, whatever you call it, or like the Money in the Bank matches or the Royal Rumbles, whatever. But I don't know. He didn't need the win. Braun Strowman did need the win because he could actually be a main eventer. The Undisputed Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the Brawling Brutes. A match we've seen already. The tag division is a little boring, considering that the Usos have both championships, and they kind of ran through the division, and they're kind of just running through the division again. I think the next team that they're actually going to face is probably the New Day, and they've shown that they've had great matches. I mean, just because they're running through the division doesn't mean that they don't have great matches. I love watching the Usos versus any tag team. The Brawling Brutes did a really good job too. I really like that tag team. They're a cool tag team. I just wish there was more titles for them to be passed around. It sucks right now. But probably by around WrestleMania, we'll have the titles split up again, and we'll have 2 tag team champions and 2 main event champions, whatever. Obviously, the Usos defeated the Brawling Brutes to retain their title. Whatever. Next, Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a last woman standing match. From the videos that I saw of this match, this looked so whack. Like it looked. At one point, I think they went up onto the stage and there was a golf cart. Like, why? It is ridiculous. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I've heard there was a couple botches in the match. Obviously, I mean, on CBS WWE, they're giving it an A- rating. I'm pretty sure like there was good technical wrestling, but just from the videos that I saw, it looked like it just wasn't a match for me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm glad I didn't watch it because it looked like it would have been it would have been not the match for me. And in our main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, we had Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Interesting match, especially going into it. I think we all realized how good Logan Paul is of a wrestler, but I definitely think he overcame our expectations. Very, very good for him. I've seen videos. I saw one video that he had the phone in his hand and he recorded himself actually performing a frog splash onto the announcer's table. That was sick. I saw a couple pictures. Logan Paul had a couple near falls. I mean, it looked like that he has been wrestling for years upon years. Like it was amazing how well he wrestled in that match against Roman Reigns too. They made him look very, very strong, and there was also other people involved. The Usos came out and they beat up Logan Paul's friends. I can't remember their names. George and Mike, I don't know their last names. They're on his podcast, whatever. Hey Logan, if you're watching this, I wouldn't mind coming on Impulsive. But yeah, the Usos beat them up. George was really good at selling their attacks, which was a nice touch. And then Jake Paul came out, which was unexpected, and he came out to whatever his shitty song is that he made when he was in Team 10. I don't know the name of it, but he came out to that, which is pretty funny. He beat up the Usos, and it was pretty interesting. It looked like they were building Jake Paul versus Solo Sikoa, because Solo came out and they kind of looked at each other, and then Roman Reigns, beat up Jake or whatever, and then Logan jumped on the Usos, and then Logan went in. Spear, Roman Reigns recaptured his championship. Great match. I did actually. I mean, I know at the beginning I said that I didn't get the chance to watch it, but I did get to watch this match. I did watch it on my phone. I was out doing whatever because this came out at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. Not like I'm not doing anything, whatever. And yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. Oh, Bray Wyatt also had a promo. I don't know what he said or did. I don't even know what the hell's going on. Whatever, I'm just waiting for him to wrestle. He's a pretty good wrestler. I like him. You got Uncle Howdy, which I'm pretty sure it's just Bray Wyatt. I don't know, it's fucking weird shit. Yeah, and that was Crown Jewel. I actually think this is definitely the worst Crown Jewel pay-per-view that we've ever gotten. Thinking about it, I feel like we've had more moments and more things happen at other Crown Jewels. Which, I mean, it isn't a bad thing. Like, it's not like this Crown Jewel was awful and like it was horrible. Like, it's the worst pay-per-view. I don't know. It's whatever. B-list pay-per-view, mid pay-per-view. And yeah, I think that's. Let me just check my phone real quick. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about today. I guess I'll just give a little update regarding like what's going on or whatever. I do plan on posting more consistently. I know it's been a while, but I'm kind of done with other things that I've been working on, and school's going to be done in about a month or so, and I do plan on posting crazy for December, just because that's the best time to post on YouTube. And yeah, you should be expecting to see a lot more of me. But before I let you guys go, please subscribe and like the video and share with a friend. Share with your friend and show them how bald I am. I know I haven't talked about it, but I'll probably talk about it in tomorrow's podcast. I'm leaving you a little bit of a cliffhanger. Yeah, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in another podcast episode. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys later. Peace.